The State of Play dropped an absolute bomb of a trailer on us with God of War Laufey, Laufey. And people have a ton of opinions on it. And you know what? I do too. In particular, I have one giant gripe with the game from the 20 minutes of gameplay we've seen. Spoiler alert, it is not Laufey herself. Now, to preface this video, I have not actually played much of the God of War games. I've played a bit of the PSP title and watched a few clips, but not much beyond that. So call me a fake fan, because I ain't even a fan. And yet, even as a stranger to the franchise, I was absolutely enchanted by the trailer itself. Up until one specific point. Now, Laufey the character, don't know anything about her, but her mannerisms have a very enthralling effect on me. She certainly seems capable enough, likable enough, and interesting enough to be a protagonist. The environment we start in, gorgeous. The flowers, the mystique of it all, color me intrigued. I don't even mind the rather cubic take once we get out of the cave, I guess. I don't mind the bony aesthetics either, or the spectral barbarians type beat. Not too big of a fan of the mix of mythologies, but that's a whole other topic. One that I don't have nearly as much ire for. Because the object of my hatred is none other than this cube. Frank, the gelatin cube. I don't even know what to say to this, except that it looks so out of place. Especially combined with the dialogue, I'm afraid it's going to be a comedic relief sidekick. He sticks out like a sore thumb. And I've seen the rebuttal to this. Oh, but he's so funny. Have a little whimsy. I don't know, Chief. Is God of War known for his whimsy? Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are lighthearted moments, but I've never seen anyone point out the comedic genius or cozy feeling they get playing it. Most of the praises are sung about feeling rage and melancholy and some really raw emotions. A big Jello doesn't really evoke that. What bothers me the most is the fact that they have a whole lot of mythological figures they could choose to use that are funny. Like a kappa could be pretty funny, and it has water the sword could be stored in instead of Jello, but no, they just went with slime. I don't even know if that's supposed to be a mythological figure or not. But if it is, it sure is obscure. As for the other argument I've heard, that he's obviously a big important figure that's just hiding in the guise of a comedic relief form. But to that I say, would it not be smarter to have it be a form that fits the setting a bit more than a big cuboid of gelatin? Like the sword ribbons, for example. I don't know the mythos of talking ribbons on a sword, but it seems a lot more fitting into the game itself. I do have my worries about the character, but just design-wise, I can take it a lot more seriously, and it doesn't strike me as jarring immediately. Especially when I see Frank do a Tokyo drift on the battlefield. Though the forms of these companions aside, there is another worry I have for the game. The writing. Don't get me wrong, I don't know much about prior God of War writing to see if it's a departure, but as a first impression on a God of War newbie, I feel quite underwhelmed. Like the lines were fine up until, you guessed it, that cube showed up. The whole magic discussion, what was even the point? The whole magic problem existed for like 10 minutes only to be resolved with very basic sounding talk. I don't see why the magic needed to be somehow jammed in the first place. It didn't really move us anywhere. Sure, it gave the Jello and the ribbons a few extra lines and established trust, but it felt like a very cheap excuse to do so. The moment where the ribbons' sword acts as Laufey's weapon and where Frank saves her seem much more natural to the story. And then the breaking out of the tiefling? What even is that humanoid? Well, that doesn't matter. What I mean is, that whole interaction with the free prisoner in general was a bit rough. A few lines, very to the point, and with no real emotion or human inflection to it, in my opinion. But the worst example, we get a single line of warning. Lady, that sword is more than you think it is. Okay, monarch of vague posting, could you have elaborated a bit more? Like when people know something, they usually tend to say the important part, not hint at something. I don't even know if they meant it in a good or a bad way. Like, why is that line there? Even if it were written better, it feels weird to have it be given to you so unceremoniously. Wouldn't it be more powerful to find it out yourself by exploring and talking as a character yourself than having it delivered to you in a single line of dialogue? It's a bit weird to me and blocks off what could be a really strong moment. Even if the character that delivered it turns out to be pivotal later on, it just feels so shoehorned in. This could have been executed a lot better. And now, while I know that this short video is mostly me ripping into the trailer, as I mentioned at the start, I did genuinely enjoy it for the most part. The Kratos bit, phenomenal. Short, little speaking, but it was so expressive, even as someone who hasn't played the games. And that's writing that I really appreciate. Same with the whole intro segment of exploration, and the weird flowers, and the deceased, and everything else. It's just such a shame to me that what would otherwise be an absolutely phenomenal trailer got dragged down by such small aspects. Granted, I think my take on it isn't very popular because people are too busy hating on, let me check my notes. People are hating on the fact that Laufey is the protagonist because she's a woman, and cardinal sin, she's not hot. Well, honestly, saw that one coming, considering everything that has been happening in the gamer spheres. I won't harp too much about that abysmal take, I'm just gonna surmise my opinion on it in a few sentences. Protagonists don't need to be hot. I do love watching hot men do stuff, don't get me wrong, but I can handle watching someone I don't want to bone do things as well. The protagonist being a woman does little to influence my enjoyment of a game. Just because it is called God of War does not mean it has to be about Kratos as a main character or even Kratos at all. God of War is a franchise/universe name now, not a game name. Same way there could be a Witcher game with Dandelion as the protagonist, and you would not see me complain about it not having a Witcher in the game. But alas, complaining is universal, so not much we can do about people voicing their displeasures. After all, that's what I made this video about, LMAO. But what about you guys? Are you excited for the game? Do you share my views? Have a retort? Do you think I'm too nitpicky? Let me know in the comments, and see you all either on the next video or on a stream every Friday and Saturday, 6 PM EST.